Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to the video. In today's video, we're going to stretch back into the past, about 2 months, 3 months, something like that, when we changed focus from the C10 and the 35 Chevy to just the 35 Chevy. Well, we're going to swirl back around and pick up on that C10 where we left off. We were putting together a fuel system for it. I had the fuel lines done from the engine back to the back. Years ago, I started building a fuel tank for one of these trucks out of 16 gauge metal. I decided to pick that project up and put a fuel pump in it and make a fuel system for a LS truck out of 16 gauge sheet metal and one fuel pump. So the process kind of evolved and it changed in there where I got a whole fuel pump module with the sending unit and everything out of a later model Silverado, like 2005-ish. And my lines were already set up for that type of a system. So we changed a little bit, built some stuff to put that module into this tank, welded it all up, fitted in the truck, and ta-da! Yeah, a good video with just a lot of fabrication, not a lot of bought parts. I hope you guys enjoy it. Sit back, give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you think this is just a crazy idea, and yeah, enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Brian. This is the Hog Barn here at Hog Shooter Hot Rods, and today we're going to work on turning this chunk of 14 gauge hot rolled steel that's been cut and put into the shape of a gas tank kind of. We're going to go ahead and finish this project up, something that I started a long time ago. Let's get off in the middle of this thing. Okay, so we measured length at 21 inches, and then we do have a taper here. I just measured in the middle of the tank, so we got 8.5 inches deep right here. I figure that'll be a close compromise there. And then we're 26 inches wide, and that is the width in between the frame rails of the truck. So we'll be able to weld a piece of angle on here and use that as our mounting point to mount to the frame of the truck. When we multiply all those together, we end up with 4,641. That'd be cubic inches of volume inside of our fuel tank. Now, a gallon of gasoline occupies 231 cubic inches. So we do a little division there, and we come up with 20.0909 on and on volume or gallons inside of our tank. So we're basically, these dimensions get us 20 gallons of capacity. That's a pretty good sized gas tank. And looking at it, I never would have thought that that would hold 20 gallons of fuel. But the numbers, the math doesn't lie. All right, I got my fuel pump and everything mounted up in here. It's been a minute since I've given you guys an update. So the float for our fuel level clears everything. The only thing about using this fuel level sensor is I don't think it's going to work with my factory gauge. We're going to have to do something there to get reading on our fuel level. I did put my additional baffles in. So this tank is baffled, divided up into 4 sections, got holes cut. This is actually the bottom of the tank, so you can see my fuel level or fuel pump module is going to be right on the bottom of it. I had to cut this down about 4 inches to get it to where it would fit in this smaller tank. It doesn't look very big, but this is like 20-gallon fuel capacity. So that's cool. We got this part all done. I've cleaned it out. I pretty much have it ready to put the top or the bottom on it and weld it. I've got the bottom laying here, and you can see I went through and I drilled a bunch of holes so I can rosette weld that to those baffles in there, and we're going to corner weld all the way around this thing. I did clean the mill scale off right out at the very edge because it doesn't weld nearly as good with that mill scale on there. Inside and out's all clean. I just wiped this thing all down with glass cleaner, guys, instead of using brake clean or something like that, just because I don't want those mysterious chemicals making some kind of vapor. Of course, it's hot enough out here today. That stuff's going to evaporate in like no time at all. So this fuel tank, we got to get it put together, and then we'll have to build some mounting locations. We're still going to have to put a fill location in it, but we can take care of all that as we go. We're just one thing at a time, you know what I mean? Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day. We actually got just a tiny amount of rain last night. It's been really dry here for quite a while. I don't know why I set myself up every morning to have to run the grinder, but that seems to be the way it works out. So I did weld all the way around this tank. I'll show them up nice and close. I ain't afraid. They're not pretty. It's all that edge welding, and then I'm using 030 wire and CO2, so it gets the job done. So I like to grind those welds though before I pressure test anything, so that we can look for obvious pinholes in the weld, maybe a skipped spot or something like that. So I've just got one side knocked down. I'm going to go and hit the other 3, catch these little plug welds off in the middle of her, and I think I'll probably try to fit it in the truck and everything before I actually do any of my leak testing, because I'm going to have to do more welding on this thing before I get any further. It's got to be fully assembled, ready to bolt in, right? Then we can leak check it. So I'll bring you guys back in when we have it out underneath the truck. All right, so got our tank laying down here. Just need to get it fitted up in here. You see these OC10s? They got a nice spot right behind the rear diff in, I think, let's call it Ford Pinto area here. Good spot for the gas tank to fit. You don't have to do something like this. It's really like 1-800 call, order a gas tank, but what the heck, man? If you're not building it, you're just buying it. Got our fuel lines here. I did flush those out. So I'm just trying to keep them up out of the way. That tank's gonna fit up here. Hopefully we can put our fill right back here through this open area, come around, go all the way up through the bed floor here and put a filler in the back corner. We'll have to build us some angle iron, drill us some holes, mark the tank so we can weld it in. I think that that's how I'm gonna go. The only problem with putting the tank back here is it makes putting this back bumper on a real fun deal. And you can see with the frame that you've cut down, you have no bumper mounting holes, so you got to do all that. But if you can cut a bed down, you can surely drill some holes for a back bumper. All right, there you go. Got it kind of sitting up in there. It's actually pushed up tight against this rear cross member here. So we can actually tilt this thing, get more of the sump on this end. This is the deep end of it. You can see back in here, our fuel pump assembly, everything's gonna come out in front of this cross member. We'll be able to do what I was saying, put our fill behind the cross member. I just wanted to wait to make sure where to put that thing exactly. I didn't want to run into have to cut more on this poor truck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 2x4 here, maybe a couple of 2x4s, push the back of this up, get it where I like the way it sits. We'll put angle across here, drill our holes, bam, fuel tank mounted. You can see it come out pretty nice. We got about a 1/2 inch gap all the way around it. We're inside of the back of the frame, barely. So there you go. That's building a fuel tank the long way around. I did start on this video many months ago and finally getting the tank in the truck. So awesome deal. All right, so I just cut me some angle, drilled holes, cleaned everything up pretty good, marked the center of the tank so I know where to put this. Gonna just like hold her up in there nice, give her the old tacky tack. I did spend some time centering up the tank and getting it right where I want it, so we're in good shape here. Give it a few tacks in the tightest spots. There we go. That's tacked in there good enough. I can drill holes and I can actually bolt this thing in because I want to get weight on it and see clearance wise. I don't want this to hang down too much. So that was fun. But once it's over, now we have our tank pretty much mounted up in here. Just gotta make a few connection points. But I think it's lunchtime. My stomach is telling me you better eat. And you can tell I don't miss very many meals. So I'm gonna get the impact, tighten this up, and wrap it up, fellas. Wrap it up. So you can see the orange tape's kind of showing where the chrome bumper will end up hanging down to. It may be slightly lower, but we're going to end up with a little bit of fuel tank showing in the back, not much. It'll have the tag will drop down even lower, so we'll have some chrome exhaust beside it. I think it'll all work out, guys. It mounted up in there good. The thing that I struggled with on the blue truck was getting enough room for the filler neck at the top, so I may have overcompensated there. But hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate so much all of you that take time out to do that. Leave me a comment, like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and we will catch you on the next video.